In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of knowing your emotions, being able to name the emotions, being able to have the language that expresses how you are feeling and what you're going through.
Disclaimer alert! Disclaimer alert! Please pause the video and read the disclaimer.
So why is it important for us to know our emotions? And why am I even making this video? Well, a study that psychologists just did, I just read the report about a week ago, shows that they took not just regular random people, but they took therapists. It was done by Brene Brown and company. Took therapists and they gave them sticky notes to write the emotions that they feel. And they found that on average, people report feeling only 3 emotions. Now there are more than 100 and something emotions in our emotion bag, even though they considered it into 85. But most people, we recognize happiness, anger, and sadness. And that is a problem. And why is it a problem? Because, again, let me just quote what Brene Brown said. She said, lacking the language to express how we feel cheated the opportunity to express ourselves and our full human experience. Basically, if you don't know your emotions, or you cannot recognize that this is how I'm feeling, then you cannot experience yourself in your fullness of your humanness. Do you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I was having a really difficult time with a friend who I decided I don't want to be friends with anymore. And I couldn't figure out, I had to sit down and say, what am I feeling right now? I know I don't want to be friends with this person, and these are the reasons, but why am I so drained? Why am I so ugh? And I realized that I was feeling grief, and I understood what grief is, and I understood that, okay, this is what's going on with it, and this is how I'm going to probably continue to be. And I journaled, and I feel better. I guess what I'm saying is that being able to feel and know your emotions, it helps you experience yourself and life in its fullness. So I'm feeling a loss, but it's better than I'm just so pissed at this person, because I'm not. I accept them for who they are and where they are at, and I accept that I can't build with them. So that's a loss. All right, so, and how beautiful is that, being able to know where you are and how you're feeling. And another example that I would love to give about this, and the importance of knowing your emotions, is of my work. Because we work with people and kids and people who are distressed sometimes. And as human beings, we also get affected by what's going on, especially if there's difficulty in the case or whatever, right? But we have codes where if I say, hey guys, I'm spinning, right? I'm spinning to them, they know what that means. I am kind of struggling, I'm a little bit stressed, and I need somebody to just pick up where I'm left off. So if I say I'm spinning, somebody will come up and say, okay, Karen will come, or whoever, say, what are you doing? And I can say, well, I was busy with this, and they'll take over, and I'll get 5 minutes, and I'll go to the bathroom and just cry, or take a breather, or just do nothing, shut down so that I can recover, right? But if I go to them and say, I am roasted, I'm done, that means I'm in a position where I am so distressed that I cannot even tell them how to help me. So the minute I say that, then they try to figure out themselves what I was busy with, where I was busy with it, and I just go and I'm done. I can either go home, or I can take a couple of hours, and I can just be, because we know that being able to just shut down helps us be able to recharge and recover, or to come back into ourselves, right? So when we know how we're feeling and what we're experiencing, then those kind of things can happen, right? You could say, hey, I'm spinning. And spinning is part of life, right? Life can get you all worked out and all in a frenzy, right? And it's okay. You can continue to cope with it. But if it gets to a point where you can't cope, then you say, I'm spinning, they'll come to my rescue. And in contrast, if I say I'm roasted, I'm done, they know that they cannot even ask me to come what I was doing. So that is a healthy work environment. That's a healthy way of being. That's a healthy way of living. When you can say to your partner or to your kids, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm going on. But remember, all these cannot happen if you don't know what grief in comparison to anger feels like. If you don't know what despair in comparison to regret feels like, right? So being able to name and coin your emotions is important for healthy living and for the full experience of you as a human being. So we live in a time where people get into a frenzy, and that is because people are not connected to their emotions and how they feel. Like, for example, imagine right now you have a headache. I say headache because that's something that I used to struggle with as a child. And your head is pounding to a point where you see stars, you hear banging as if drums are playing in your head, right? You can't even stand up. It's that bad, right? And then you go to a neurologist and they want to help you. They have the resources, they have the education, they want to help you. And they say to you, what's wrong? How are you feeling? What's wrong? But there's a tape on your mouth. You can't speak for some reason. You can say, I have a headache and I'm seeing stars. You can't speak. And you can't even point and say, my head hurts, you're in chains, or whatever, they duct tape you. What do you think is going to happen? You are in massive pain. One or two things is going to happen, I'll tell you. It's either you're going to throw a tantrum and start throwing chairs and just like, fuck, I am in pain, right? Or you're just going to collapse in despair because you need help, people are wanting to help you, but you don't know how to ask for it. You don't have the capacity to ask for it. So one of those, and that's what I feel is happening with us in the world, is that we are just running around because we don't have the capacity to express emotionally what we're going through. We just either collapsing, having mental breakdowns, or we are really throwing big, I don't know what to call it, I don't want to say tantrums, but we are self-destructing because we don't have the language. So I hope this is a third example that I'm giving you of the importance of learning, making sure that you have the language to express your emotions. And I hope it's working, that I'm convincing you that it is important for you to learn the different emotions and how they feel and why. Okay? Because, if people are only feeling sadness and they're feeling fear and anger or whatever the three emotions were, what happens to enthusiasm? What happened to anger? What happens to joy? What happened to being zealous? What happened to Freude, right? What happens to all these other emotions that gives us the wholeness of who we are? We are really actually losing a lot. So let's not lose. Yeah, without these emotions, we are really adrift, right? We just aloof. This is also actually not only good for you, but it is good for everybody involved. Now think about it. You walk in this little room that I'm in right now, and you find me breaking the windows and sort of losing it. Now you have two choices. You could either assume that I'm going through a nervous breakdown, or I'm crazy, or call me a Karen, or you can realize that there are 50 other emotions that I could be experiencing, right? So when you know that a person behaving in a certain way could be experiencing a whole lot of emotions, right? Because I could be throwing things because somebody died, or because somebody did something horrible to somebody I love, or because I'm afraid, or because I lost something, or because it could be many different reasons why I'm losing that cool. And a person who is emotionally in tune, and a person who knows and can name the emotions, they will know that they don't know what's going on with me. And the best thing to do is to ask me. I know we have this thing in Africa, my dad used to say, in order to understand how somebody's feeling, you have to walk in their shoes. But I have a little bit of a problem with that, because I have my own human perceptions, my own beliefs, my own way of thinking, and my own way of seeing life. I might wear your shoes, but how I cognitively think about how your shoes feel, or the path that you're walking, might not give me the same experience, because I'm not processing it the same way. So the best way is for me to ask you, listen to you, and believe you when you tell me what you're going through, right? And that trajectory will change how we treat each other and how we experience life. So, and I think it's gonna be a difficult or a little bit of a stretch for us to learn to do that, because we are used to just judging each other. We're used to just blame and all those things. And it seems like it's a lot of work to check in with each other. But all that said, I hope this video has convinced you that it is important that you know and understand your emotions. So, and if you don't know how to get to this, I'm going to make a next video about emotions. So subscribe and comment some of the emotions that you are aware that you feel very often. Also, remember that we are driven by our emotions. Our emotions are the ones in the steering wheels, not our thinking, not our actions. It's not what we think, it's not what we do that drives us, but it is what we feel. And if we can know and understand how we feel, then we can best know and learn to ask other people how they feel, instead of tell them what they're feeling or tell them what they're experiencing. We can say what we are seeing, but we could be wrong. You could say I'm angry, but you could be wrong, because I could be feeling 100 more different emotions, 50 other different emotions that you don't know about, because your vocabulary about emotions and your experience on these emotions is limited. So I hope this video was helpful. I feel like this is one of the most important videos I have made. So please share it with somebody. You never know whose life it changes. And I will see you in the next video. Deuces.